Is manifestation really a thing? You see all the stuff online about how you can manifest your destiny, you can make millions of dollars out of thin air, but is that actually a reality or a fallacy? Well, my name is Monica Main. I'm a serial entrepreneurial and successful real estate investor, and I'm here to share with you how I was able to actually manifest a $500,000 in 45 days, and it's not the way you think. So buckle up your seatbelts because what I have to share with you is something that you've never heard of before from anybody else out there. Okay, so you're probably wondering, well, Monica, I've seen all the stuff about The Secret. I've seen all the stuff out there that talks about how you can just basically manifest money out of thin air. Is that really true? Well, it's kind of true and it's kind of not true. And let me share with you a little bit of background about how I came into manifestation many, many years ago, as I was actually pretty much raised in it, and how I was able to develop my own manifestation secret so that you can use it too to be able to create the kind of wealth and lifestyle that you've always wanted. And so, just to give you a little bit of background, I grew up in a kind of unconventional spiritual household. So, while all my friends were Catholic or Christian, I actually grew up in the Temple of Kriya Yoga with my parents. It's a kind of a Hinduistic Buddhist religion. And so in the Midwest, it wasn't really a thing to be not only a vegetarian, but also be raised in this kind of environment. And so I kind of always felt like the outcast. But I was essentially raised with this concept and idea that you can have the life that you've always wanted. You can kind of meditate and manifest. Except there was one big problem, and that was that we're always broke as a family. We never had enough money. We're always scraping by. And this is one of the reasons, by the way, why I decided that at a very, very early age, I was going to be very wealthy beyond my wildest dreams. And I knew at a very early age that that was going to happen because I decided that I was never going to be like my parents, ever. And so far, that's actually been true. I've been able to manifest the life that I want, never be broke, and be able to actually have the lifestyle I've always dreamed of as a child. Where did that come from? Especially since I've always seen that my parents struggled pretty much since day one. And, they did the meditations, they did the affirmations, they did the deep breathing exercises, and yet we were always poor. We never had any money. We barely were able to feed ourselves in many cases. I remember utilities getting shut off, all kinds of stuff when I was growing up. I remember this one time, and it really bothers me even to this day. Out of all the things that I had to deal with being a broke young person growing up in America, I think out of all the things that I had to weather through and deal with as far as not having any money as a family, the thing that bothered me the most was when we actually moved to the panhandle of Florida. This was back in the early to mid 80s. And my parents didn't have a lot of money. They had to borrow money from my grandmother, my dad's mom, to be able to not only make the move, but to be able to, provide a meager lifestyle for what we were able to actually have at that time in our lives. And my parents just struggled because back then in the panhandle, you were either in the military or you were in some kind of tourist type of, profession. And if you weren't in either one, you did not make a living. And so unfortunately, they struggled. My parents were both high school dropouts, did not get a college degree, which back then that would have been useful probably because that was back in the day when a college degree actually meant something. And they just kind of flew by the seat of their pants. And of course, it never ever worked out financially. And so this is what I was learning from. And unfortunately, at that time, when we first moved to the Panhandle, I remember we had to go to this used, I don't know what it was. It was almost like a flea market where they were selling all kinds of used stuff. And my parents had to buy us these beds. They were urine stained beds, like the bed mattress. And I just remember out of all the things that I had to go through growing up, not having any money, this was the thing that bothered me the most. And that was the moment I decided. I was around 9 or 10 years old. I'm like, I am never, ever going to have my kids sleep on a pissy mattress. I am never going to live this life. I'm never going to put my children through this if I ever have any children. And at that time, I even decided I didn't want to have kids because I didn't want to bring kids into such a horrible world. That's what I perceived it as being. And so when you make a decision, even at an early age, and even if you have no idea how you're going to be able to make good out of that decision, like what are you going to do? Like as a child, I didn't know what I was going to do for a living. I didn't know how I was going to make a lot of money. I just knew that I wasn't going to live like that, right? And so I think desire, in fact, Napoleon Hill talks about the burning desire And he talks about that in chapter 1 of Think and Grow Rich, where he talks about how that is the seedling to how it all begins. And so you're probably wondering, well, does manifestation work? Yes and no. And here's the reality. It does not work if you're just going to plan on sitting around in your backyard and think about manifesting money and feeling, and I don't care how much of a feeling state or all the affirmations in the world and all the positive thinking in the world. If you don't actually take action on the things that you know you need to take action on, like for example, what's going to happen is, and I'm going to share with you kind of a meditation on exactly how to manifest what you want. But I'm going to be very clear before I share this with you, because this is the secret way that I do it. It works every single time without fail. But here's how most people fail the system by not following through in a certain way that they're supposed to. And that is this. When you do the manifestation technique that I'm about to share with you, you're going to get ideas that are going to come to you. You might be in the shower, you might be driving, they might be in the middle of the night when you're sleeping. Somebody might tell you something that just kind of like rings your bell and you're like, oh, that's the idea I was looking for. But here's the problem. Most people in the world of manifestation, they don't follow through with the ideas and thoughts of inspiration, as I call them. They're going to be droplets of thoughts of inspiration that you're going to find when you start the process of manifestation. So let me give you a little bit of context on what needs to happen for you to manifest the things that you want, and then what needs to happen in follow-up for you to be able to get the things that you want. So there are a couple of different wavelengths, and I know Nikola Tesla actually talked about vibration and how all you need to do is meet the level of vibration to be able to attract the things that you truly want in life. So for example, if you want to attract rape and murder and somebody robbing you and somebody, taking advantage of you and abusing you, then you want to vibrate at a very, very low vibrational energy level. And if you're not sure what I'm talking about, have you ever walked into, say, a dive bar or any kind of person's home or any kind of situation where you just felt like this lower energy vibe? Like you just felt like you didn't want to be there. Maybe the hair stood up on the back of your neck and wasn't jiving with your spirit or your alignment. Have you ever had that situation happen in your life? And I can guarantee you probably are like nodding your head going, yes, that's happened to me, where every time I walk into name of establishment, name of restaurant, I feel this way. That's a low vibrational energy level. You want to avoid those situations as much as possible. But the key thing that you need to remember here is that you want to try to raise your vibrational level as much as possible, as often as possible. And that's where the secret starts, is raising your vibrational energy level. And so the higher your vibrational energy level is, the more you can meet at the level of the things that you want. Like, for example, money, prosperity, abundance, having happiness, finding your life partner, the right life partner, I should say. That's all at these higher energy levels. And if you're not vibrating there, it's like a magnet. You're not going to be able to attract the things that are way up here. You're just simply not going to be able to pull it off simply because you're vibrating too low. Like if you're thinking bad thoughts, you don't feel happy or satisfied, you feel negative, you're watching the news all the time. By the way, stop watching the news. That's not good for you. But you're watching the news all the time, and it's just bringing you down, and you're looking on social media and you're just like, oh, this is just making me feel worse because my best friend went on vacation and I can never afford to go on vacation. It just brings you down, right? So the things that are bringing you down, stop doing those activities. The places that bring you down, stop frequenting those places. The people that are bringing you down, try to avoid those people as much as possible. Now, I know that some of them might be living in your household and you're going to have to make do until you can figure out a way to break free. But for now, try to raise your vibrational energy level as high as possible. So how do you do this? Roll out of bed and feel gratitude for what you have. There are people in third world countries that would just kill to have the lifestyle that you have right now, even though you're probably complaining about it every single day. What you complain about, you will expand and it will attract more into your life. So if you're complaining about your job and how you hate it, it's just going to become worse. If you're complaining about not having enough money and you have too many bills, you're going to get more bills. You're going to attract more bills. If you're complaining about different people in your life that you just so happen to not want to, people abusing you, people just randomly just spitting in your face, things like that, then you're going to attract more of that if you're complaining and focusing in on that. All right. So on the flip side, if you want to attract more higher energy things, then you focus on the things that are higher energy. Start reading positive, inspirational books. Start going to church. Yes, I do believe in church. I'm not a church goer myself, but I truly do believe in the vibrational energy level. I mean, how many times have you walked into a church on Sunday or any day that they're having mass, or any kind of function, and you start to feel higher, like it just raises your vibrational energy level? That's what I'm talking about, that church vibe. That's where you want to raise your vibrational energy level as often as possible, ideally all day long. Now, none of us are perfect. It's not going to happen all the time, 24/7. Sad things happen. People die in our family. You see sad things, whatever. But you want to be like a cork, where if somebody just pulls down a cork and you just, you let go of the hand and then the cork just pulls back up. You want to be like that, where you're constantly buoyantly, pushing that vibrational energy level up. And the reason you want to do this is because all the ideas, the amazing $1 million ideas, the strategies, the secrets, obviously your future life partner, all these things that you want are way up here. And if you're vibrating way down here, then you're only going to get the stuff that's, magnetically attracted to the things that are way down here, like the bad things that you probably don't want. So I recommend that every single morning, you can start a meditation if you want, but if you have trouble with meditation, like I know a lot of people do, then I recommend that you listen to positive, uplifting music. If you like candles, burn some candles. If you like incense, burn some incense. Take a gratitude journal and start writing. I journal every single day, 3 pages a day. I learned this from the book The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. I've been doing it for, I think, it's over 6 years now. It's like amazing that I've been consistent with this. Never missed a day, 3 pages a day, every single day. And so that helps to uplift my energy. And while I'm writing, it's almost like a meditation where I'll just get these ideas and these thoughts of inspiration that I must then, wait for it, act on those ideas and thoughts of inspiration. Like, you just don't get these ideas. Here's the problem with most metaphysical texts and most metaphysical secret ideas, is that they tell you to meditate, 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 attract, 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 and then there's no action taken. Literally, like, no action. Like, they expect somebody to dump off a bag of money to their doorstep. We all know that that's not how the rules of economics, how that works. We also understand that even in the very least, if you're going to win a lottery, you got to go buy a freaking ticket, right? So they just expect the ticket to just go blowing into their window one day, and then that to be the winning ticket. Like, people just want to put no effort into the process of creating the wealth or creating whatever it is that they want. You are a co-creator, which means that even the universe itself, even God himself, has limitations, because the earth plane is a very heavy, dense plane of existence, the one that we're on right now. And therefore, it takes two to tango. So even though they can kind of give you a push and they can give you the ideas and thoughts of inspiration and they can open doors for you, you still have to stand up and do some of the process, right? You do have to help row the boat, if you will. So they can kind of guide you and create a really nice stream, maybe even a rushing stream for you to get to what you want, but you still have to be in the boat. You still have to kind of guide the boat a little bit. You still have to be a participant in the ride, right? And so that's the problem with a lot of these metaphysical ideas and thoughts and texts and books and seminars and all these different things, is that they try to make you believe that all you need to do is sit around in a corner and meditate, 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 affirm, 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 feel positive and have positive vibes and all that good stuff, and feel as if you've already manifested it, and then do nothing. Okay? Well, I'm sorry, that's just not how reality works. Okay? So I'm going to talk about how I was able to manifest $500,000 in 45 days, and how you can utilize this exact strategy to manifest anything that you want, because it works for literally everything, like literally everything. And kind of the downside of manifestation, so that you can understand, okay, well, am I doing this right? Am I doing this wrong? And maybe, so you can kind of stay on the track of understanding what a good manifestation is. So first of all, the downside of manifestation. Let's talk about that first. Like, this is the dirty little secret that none of those manifestation people ever want to tell you, is there is a downside. There's a minus side. The minus side is that if you manifest something too quickly, you don't enjoy it. So case in point, I manifested this 850i, BMW 850i, that I really thought I wanted. And I manifested it in, I think it was around a month, less than a month. It was like 3 weeks. And I freaking hated that car. Okay, I just hated it. So if you ever wonder why sometimes things take a little longer, it's because maybe, number one, it's not for you. Or number two, the universe really wants you to kind of think about, maybe, is this really what you want? Because in my manifestations, I do something very, very critical here. I always say, this or something better shall manifest itself for me. This or something better shall manifest itself for me. So that way, if I'm just being a dope and I'm so narrow minded that I think that this is what I want and really I don't, or it's not going to be good for me, then the universe can step in and say, well, you might want this other car instead, or well, you might want this other life partner instead, or oh, you might want this other, business idea instead, right? Because what you might think is the way is probably not the way necessarily. And so what that sentence tells the universe is, okay, they have the right to basically give you something even better that you don't even have in your small, narrow-minded vision to even the ability to think about it. So when you manifest things too quickly, sometimes you just A, don't appreciate it when it comes, or B, you're manifesting the wrong thing. So back to the BMW, I just could not stand that car. I just hated everything about it. And I just barely got rid of it recently and traded it in for something I really like. And if I would have taken a little bit more time in my manifestation, I probably would have just probably figured out that I wanted this other car more because I really wanted that BMW and I figured it out. It was mostly for status purposes. So if you're trying to manifest things for status, not going to work out. You might manifest it, but you're going to hate it when you get it, right? So you want to give the, I guess, them the ability, them by the universe, the ability to override some of the things that you think that you want. So you always want to say, this or something better should manifest itself for me. So let's talk about the manifestation secret that I know, okay, and how this whole thing works from front to back, start to finish. Ready for this? So what you want to do is you want to choose something that you know you're not going to have any doubt over whether or not you're going to be able to achieve it or get it, right? So it might be hard with money in the beginning for you because maybe you want $100,000, but maybe you've never had a lump sum of $100,000 before. So it's very hard for your brain to kind of buy into the idea that you can manifest $100,000 in, say, 30 days, right? But maybe you've been able to manifest $10,000 in 30 days. And therefore, maybe you should start with the $10,000 because then you won't be so laced with emotion about the $10,000 because you'll be like, okay, I'm going to manifest it. I'm going to work on the manifestation technique that Monica shares with me today, but I'm not going to be just so emotionally invested that if it doesn't happen like now, then I won't freak out or get upset or just, throw in the towel and say none of this crap works. Like I'll just let it go, right? That's the key to all of this, is to be able to just let it go and just let it happen when it's going to happen. Like you never want to give the universe a specific timeline. You can give a loose timeline, like, okay, in a month I would like to manifest this money, but not by a specific time and date and this and that. You want to say, 30 days, but it might take a little bit longer. It might take 35 days, it might take 40 days. You want to be able to let the license of the universe happen in your favor, right? So case in point, I always use this example because my daughter wanted a dog one year, and I didn't want a dog. I'll be honest with you, I did not want a dog. And so on her Christmas list, she said, I want a dog. And so that year I ended up getting her a stuffed animal dog. So next year she wised up and she wrote, I want a real dog on her Christmas list. And so needless to say, she got everything on her Christmas list that year except the dog, right? Because I didn't want the dog. And so she was really upset and disappointed. And I told her, I'm like, you're going to have to manifest it. You're going to have to put it out there in the universe that the right dog is going to come to us at the right time. So she started doing all of her manifestation techniques, and mind you, she wasn't that old. I mean, she was like maybe 7 years old, and she's learning manifestation at that age, which is a powerful age to learn this. And so I kept telling her, just manifest it. I showed her the technique, and lo and behold, about 7 or 8 months after that, we ended up finding the perfect dog, and she actually bonded to me, so it's essentially my dog, and I just love her so much. I can't imagine my life without her. So the reason I'm telling you this is because I was trying to explain to my daughter, listen, even though you were ready for the dog or wanted the dog that Christmas, if you think about it, that dog was physically not in existence until the following summer when the dog was born. Does that make sense? So it's just like, okay, sometimes you want something right now, but it doesn't exist yet. Or maybe the perfect relationship doesn't exist yet because the person that you are going to be with, the person that's perfect for you, is maybe going through a divorce right now, or maybe living out of the country right now, or maybe is going through something right now and they're just simply not ready for you. So you might think that you want something today, but it's not ready to manifest today. So you do have to give the universe grace and time to be able to deliver what it is that you want. Now, that's why I like money, because money already exists and it exists everywhere all the time. The only obstacle is going to be you and being able to manifest the money. And let me explain what that means. The reason you are the obstacle is because you're the one who's going to doubt whether or not it's possible for you to manifest X amount of dollars in approximately X amount of time, right? The money's already there. So the money might not be in your bank account, but it's already in somebody else's bank account. Does that make sense? So the only interference is you and your vibrational level and how you feel about the money and how you feel about whether you deserve the money and how you feel about whether it's possible to manifest a certain dollar amount in a certain amount of days or months. And that's the only interference is you. Okay. So let's talk about money because it is literally the easiest thing to manifest. Let's talk about my strategy and how to do the manifestation so then that way you're doing it correctly. So choose a dollar amount that you want to manifest in approximately 30 days or so. Could be 2 months, but 30 to 45 days is a good time frame. Next, it has to be a believable amount of money that you want to manifest. So make sure it's believable. It can't be $10 million. If you've never made $10 million in 30 days, then it's going to be very difficult for you to wrap your mind around the idea of getting $10 million without a lot of doubt coming up all the time. Doubt, disappointment, resistance is going to come up constantly if you put out such a large, ridiculous figure. So you want it to be a slow build up. So if you believe 10,000 is probably a good number, then choose 10,000. If 100,000 seems like it could work out for you, then choose 100,000. But I strongly suggest that you start smaller and then work your muscle up. Manifestation is a muscle, right? So you might want to start with 5,000, maybe 2,000, maybe 1,000, maybe $100. I mean, start with something that's believable to you. So next, once you get it in your mind's eye of what you want to manifest, then what you're going to do is every single day you're going to concentrate on it. So you're going to go ahead and go into a corner for at least 15 minutes. I like 15 minutes. If you only have 5 minutes, and do it for 5 minutes and close your eyes. Get yourself into that high level of vibrational energy and just think good positive thoughts and then start concentrating on the $10,000. And you're just going to basically just imagine it however it makes sense for you. So everybody's different. It might actually literally be a pile of money. Or maybe you just can't wrap your head around getting a pile of money. So maybe it's a check for 10,000. Or maybe it's money raining on you like a waterfall. Or maybe it's checking your bank balance on your phone and seeing that $10,000 balance, right? So whatever feels comfortable for you and natural for you is how you need to visualize the money. So the Silva method, Jose Silva created something called the Silva method, which is really, really effective if you want to manifest the things that you want. In fact, you might want to look up Jose Silva and buy the book, The Silva Method. It's a powerful way to be able to manifest. And what he talks about is closing your eyes and kind of looking up a little bit on your horizon. I think it's about 45 degrees up above where your eyes are. So it'd be approximately up here. And so imagine on a movie screen, like you're sitting in a movie theater and you're imagining yourself having the money the way that I told you to visualize. Again, it could be a pile of money, could be looking at your bank balance, could be getting a check, or it could just be simply metaphorically getting, figuratively a waterfall falling over you. That's all cash, like $100 bills. Could be just sitting in a treasure chest full of gold coins, whatever it is that means something to you about money that has no resistance, right? The last thing you want is, oh, I met Monica. I don't understand. This isn't working for me. Every time I close my eyes and meditate about this, I think about a $10,000 check. And then I think nobody's going to give me a $10,000 check. Well, immediately that's resistance. Hello. Don't do that. Okay. Just think about maybe stacks of, little stacks of each $1,000, and you have like say $10,000 in stacks, right? So maybe imagine it like that. Wherever the least resistance is what you want to imagine. And you want to do it as if you're looking at a movie theater and you're looking a little bit above eye level and you're looking at the movie screen and you're seeing yourself receiving this money. But at the same time, here's the most important part, people, is that you have to feel as if you already have it. Like feel excited, like, yes, this really works. This is just amazing. I just love it that I have this money now and now I could do this and that and this and that, whatever you plan on using the money for. And actually feeling the excitement. So one of the misnomers of the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill is that he talks about thinking and growing rich. And thinking is just the very beginning, to think about what you want, to think about maybe how to get it. But the feeling part should be called feel and get rich, or feel it and get rich, or whatever, title he could have come up as an alternative, because feeling is the secret. And even in the book and the movie The Secret, they didn't even talk about the feeling part. They just kept talking about positive affirmations and visualization. That only goes so far. If you don't feel as if it's already happened, it's never going to happen. All right. So you have to get into that feeling state. So whether it takes you 5 minutes or 15 minutes a day, you concentrate on just that one manifestation. Don't try to have 12 up in a row, or 2 or 3 different manifestations you want. You want to have just that one for now, until you can build up your manifestation muscle over time, and then you can start to add other things as you go along. And so essentially what you want to do is just feel as if you already have the money, period. And then at the very end, after you look at the movie theater, you see yourself already with the money, you have that feeling of excitement, and then you have, most importantly, that knowing that it's on the way. It's almost as if I talked to you on the phone, me and you had a conversation. I agreed to maybe hire you as a speaker, for example, at one of my upcoming events, and I agreed to send you a check by way of FedEx for X amount of dollars for a speaking fee in advance. And I told you, I'm sending the FedEx out. Here's the tracking number. It's on the way. And do you want to have that feeling, that sense of knowing that, oh, it's on the way? Monica told me it's on the way, it's on the way. Like that same sense of feeling that it's on the way, as if somebody told you they're sending you the money, right? That confidence, that no doubt, that unbridled faith that it's happening, right? That's the key. And so you have to have no doubt. And at the very end, you say, this or something better shall manifest itself for me. And then you let it go. I let go and I let God. Let the universe handle it. Let the universe handle all the details. That's the universe's freaking job, right? To handle all the details. Now, here's where you come in. You completely forget about it until, of course, the next day when you do the affirmation about, the affirmation, and, of course, the visualization of getting the money and saying things like, I deserve this, and, this is what I want. You declare it out loud, hopefully in a room where there's nobody there, and you declare it. You say, I want $10,000 over the next 30 days. This or something better shall manifest itself for me. I do deserve this. This is mine, right? You declare that. And so you do this every single day, 5 to 15 minutes a day. And then you let go and let God at the end of and then, so what happens is during the day when you're working, when you're driving, whatever, you might get ideas, or you might be in a grocery store. This happened to me, I kid you not, one time. I was in a grocery store, and all of a sudden I'm walking past that little machine that has all the scratcher tickets, and I swear to you, one of them was glimmering at me, like almost winking at me, like that, right? So I went over to the machine. I put in, I think it was $10, and I ended up winning $500. Okay? So what would have happened if I didn't do my part? I didn't take money out of my wallet and put it in the machine and pick that one thing, and I didn't do my physical part. If I was just waiting for somebody to give me a scratch-off ticket, or somebody to lose one on the floor, I wouldn't have won the money, right? So these are the types of things you need to pay attention to. Like, what are the thoughts and ideas of inspiration? Did you have a thought or idea of picking up the phone and talking to somebody? Did a $multi-million idea come to you? Like, don't stress out if nothing happens and you don't get any ideas or thoughts of inspiration, but just pay attention and know that that's your cue to do something about it, right? You can't just forget about it and just say, oh no, it's the universe's job to do it all for me. I'm going to sit here and do nothing. And hopefully that pile of money just shows up at my doorstep without me doing any effort at all. That's just not how manifestation works. I'm sorry to burst your bubble, but that's just not how it works. So you just do your meditation every morning, your visualization, and your little affirmations, and getting, most importantly, into that feeling state, having that unbridled faith and no doubt that it's coming and it'll come when it comes, and then just letting it all go. Do that every single day until you get your manifestation. It will come to you. It will come to you. Now, this is exactly what I did to manifest the $500,000 in 45 days in cash, okay? So, why did I pick $500,000? I don't know. I just thought, well, I know that I can manifest that. I've made that in a multitude of different deals over the years. So I knew that that was a possibility for me. Now, that's the key word there, possibility. Like, if you never realized or knew that making a $500,000 in 45 days was a possibility for you, then it's probably not going to happen. And by the way, I initially said I wanted it in 30 days, but it happened to happen in 45 days because you have to give the universe leniency because it's going to happen when it happens, when all the stars line up and everything happens when it wants to happen. So that's essentially my strategy and how to manifest. So let's go over it. Number one, you have to pick something that you want to manifest in a certain time frame, but loosely, a loose time frame. And number two, it has to be something that you know you can manifest, that you believe that you can manifest with no doubt whatsoever. But you can't be really emotionally attached to it. Like, it's got to happen. I got to get that $10,000 or else I'm going to lose everything. It can't be that emotionally attached, right? And so, number three, you start doing your meditations every morning. And I would like it if you did at least 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes at night before you went to bed. And start visualizing you having it. Start feeling as if it's already there. And then you say, always, this or something better should manifest itself for me. And you let it go. I let go and I let God. And then you pay attention to the thoughts and ideas of inspiration on maybe some ideas about getting the money or about, whatever pops up for you, because it is a two to tango type of situation. You have to do your part in this. It can't all just be money dumped at your doorstep. That's not how it works. And so, and then be grateful for all the things that you do have, because gratitude is one of those money magnets where the more grateful you are, the more it attracts more in. The more ungrateful you are and the more complaining you do, you're going to attract more of that as well. And finally, my tip for you is to disconnect from a lot of the negative social media. Disconnect from a lot of the negative news that you're watching, whether it's on your phone or whether it's on TV, because a lot of that will bring you down. Unfortunately, it will disallow you from being able to manifest the things that you truly want, because it'll be working kind of like dead software in the background where it's just going to basically be bloated and lumber you down in being able to create the things that you truly want in life. So that's how you can literally manifest anything and everything that you want. Like I said, the biggest, most, I guess you could say, misunderstood thing about manifestation is that these manifesting book people and seminar people always tell you just simply sit in a corner and meditate and meditate and meditate and do your affirmations and visualize it and it'll come with no effort on your part. And I'm saying you do have to have the effort, but only when you get the thoughts and ideas of inspiration. Don't just run out there and start doing any kind of effort that you might logically think is what you need to do. Just always wait for them to give you them by the universe giving you the signal for what to do next. So that's how you can literally manifest what you want. That's how I manifested $500,000 in 45 days. And once you really get it like that, where you know you can manifest, you'll know that you'll never be broke again. You'll always have confidence in yourself to be able to manifest what you want, and you truly will be able to manifest everything that you've ever wanted. So if you found this content to be helpful, give me the nice thumbs up, as well as consider subscribing to my channel. And so this is Monica Mann signing off, and I will see you in the next video.